structure either. So.
Okay. So this is my son. This is really hard. This is our first time to do this, so don't judge. Actually, you can judge. You'll understand why at the end of the video. But this is our first time to do this, and so it might be a little awkward, but we're just going to dive in. So if you've watched me, incredibly awkward, but if you've watched me in the past talk about thought work and how that works, I want to do this with Jackson. He is my 20-year-old son. And so he is an adult. This would be very different if he were not an adult. But I speak a lot to people that are in midlife. So that's kind of the target that I'm going for, people that are like me, kind of middle of life. So if you're in midlife, chances are you may have kids that are young adults. So this is very applicable to you, and hopefully you will find huge benefit in it. So we're going to try to make this as fast as possible. But we had a little issue last night that was super beneficial. Yeah.
By the way, she gave me I have no idea what's about to come of this. So
yes,
I don't know where this is coming from.
Totally winging it. But if you don't wing it, it's not real. Like if we practiced and wrote a script, it would just be fake. So we're being real. What is real? Jackson's in college, and he is an economics major, but he is very into philosophy, and so I'm sure some of that will come out in this. But let's dive into what happened last night and kind of where I want to get with that. So last night, Jackson walks in from a very stressful day. They were supposed to fly out, and their flights got canceled, and it was just a really, really frustrating day.
And my last exam was that morning.
Yeah, and his last exam.
It was 6 a.m. By the way, I'm also going to be a little bit fried in the way that I speak, simply because I'm still recovering from finals week. So
you know what? Turn the light on.
Okay.
Right there. It's right there. Just reach. Okay. So he comes in, and he's very frustrated, and he's talking to my 34-year-old stepson and asks about a cigarette. And basically...
I said, hey, Michael, you got any cigarettes? That was exactly what I said.
Yes. And I was also having a frazzled day. And I was just like, what? And I am not actually a very particular mom. So I'm not one of these moms that say, if you don't follow my rules, you're not going to live in my house very much about too many things.
No.
I'm pretty laid back, pretty chill about stuff.
She used to be terrible.
Yes,
She used to be terrible.
But this is something, this is something that I have some real strong feelings about and conditioning towards. So one thing I want to take off the table is the health aspect of cigarette smoking. So let's just kind of remove that from the table with this. This is not, my judgment was not really about his health, because for one thing, so you can be honest about how often you do this.
Oh, no, and that was the first thing I needed to make clear to Mom in my defense as soon as she started fussing at me was, of course, everyone's aware of the repercussions of smoking cigarettes. Like, it's very clear, everybody knows about this. So I was trying to make clear to her that, no, it's not a vice. This is not something that I'm doing daily. It was a random thing, and for some reason I can recognize when something does become a thing for me, and when it is just... I had like a cigarette, and I hadn't smoked one in 3 weeks or something like that. And I could quit. I would never smoke another cigarette right now. So, yes.
Okay. So, I had lots of judgments come up and lots of frustration come up, and we did not agree. I was very angry, and I said some judgmental things. And his response to me was that he wanted to be able to be honest with me and be real with me. And I could appreciate that, because that's a desire of my own. I want to be able to be honest and show up fully as myself around everyone equally, regardless of who they are. And so I honor that he said that. But at the same time, I started thinking, and I laid awake half the night thinking about this, because he showing up fully as himself, and if that is a cigarette smoker, he has every right to do that. Like, he is a grown man. He has every right to do that. But I, on the other hand, have every right to judge. And this is a really weird thing, because I know, like, in our faith communities and stuff, judgment is such a, look down upon thing. But I also believe that what you resist persists. And so I was just very justified in my judgment. And I had to look deeper. So he gets to show up as a cigarette smoker. I get to show up as a judger.
Both vices, both, you could even say, coping mechanisms for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because you could even see that judging, when people judge other people, it might even release a similar neurotransmitter that something like smoking a cigarette would do.
Okay,
Perhaps
I told
it
you
even,
not to get too technical.
no, but that's not even technical. I mean, it simply could excite you the same way that it excites somebody to smoke cigarettes.
Right.
So it literally could be considered a comparable things. Outside of the health repercussions, are much worse for cigarettes.
Yeah. So, but the main thing that I want to get across in this video, and this went way deep, and we had a huge, long conversation about it this morning, like we do with everything.
Yeah.
But here's what I want you to see more than anything, is that when I was judging Jackson for smoking cigarettes, the fact was his smoking cigarettes was not causing the feeling that I was having of judgment. That was the like vibration in my body, was this like gross judgment. So that was not what's causing that. What was causing that was my thought about him smoking. And here was my honest thought. I have failed as a mother. What kind of mother am I? Who am I? So my judgment really wasn't even towards him. It was towards myself. And that's why it hurt so deeply, because almost always our judgments of our children are just totally about our judgments of ourselves as parents. And he, on the other hand, had tell him what your thoughts may have been in that moment, because he was really angry, because he was feeling like, well, I can't be myself.
That was the most deeply rooted thing. Is there? I always feel like my parents originally they pushed more towards me being, the good kid. That's very early in my life. But as of recently, and as they have been, as my mother has enjoyed becoming deeper, I guess you could say, or just thinking more about things in a more pragmatic way. I have also learned that I want to follow in her footsteps and being able to be my most authentic self, or being able to be. So there's this idea that she was speaking about earlier that I'd like to be one person all the time. And that sounds like we have this idea in our heads about being fake. It's not like I'm fake, but you undeniably shift your personality with different people. Well, what does it look like to technically not do that at all? And I think that is attainable. So, of course, I'm a college student, and I'm trying to.
Go ahead, keep talking.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we're talking. Go finish.
Okay. So okay. So I'm a college student. I'm trying to be myself with my parents. And as you know, college students are immoral, less moral than adults. I mean, it's just the way it is. Yeah. So things like smoking cigarettes, drinking, I mean, any sort of thing that you could imagine a college student doing, they are doing. So did you, likely. Maybe you didn't. Okay, whatever. Well, yes, on average. We can say on average. So what I'd like to be able to do is to be transparent with my mother in a way that I can be myself. She can see that I'm not going down the wrong path. But the scary thing about this is if I didn't have that ability to be transparent, that is technically when I think I would actually start going down the wrongest path. Because I'd feel like I'd need to hide. And maybe that could even,
And that same thought.
The implications of that are huge.
What you resist persists.
Yes, exactly.
So I hope you've gathered something from this that can be helpful. Because my thought last night was, I'm not a good mom. That was not serving me. That was not, one of the things that I value the most is having deep connection with my children. Well, that wasn't bringing deep connection. And so it's really simple. I just needed to change my thought. And I changed my thought by saying, I'm a freaking awesome mom. My son is sitting, this morning, we sit on the porch swing and we do this, not daily, but almost. And he's processing
very close
life
to
with
daily.
me.
Very close to daily.
Yeah.
It is insane.
And Dad needs me now.
Okay.
And so anyway, bye Jackson. Thank you.
No
bye. So anyway, how awesome that he did that with me. But that was it. I decided to switch my thought. We get to choose what we think. We determine who we are. Other people's judgments of us do not determine who we are. We decide that. So hope this was helpful. Have an awesome Saturday. See you later. Bye.